Like what I wanted to get across to people is like, it's not that hard to do this. It's just like, you just have to sit down and deal with the pain to figure it out. But once you figure it out, you're going to say, oh, wow, I can do this. Like I can definitely do this on my own. And it's going to give you something that you can use in your gym forever to constantly generate leads.
Hey, what's up, fitness fans? Welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast and interview series. This is your host, Eric Malzone, and this is episode number 140. I talked to Jacob Hutton. So Jacob, let's say about him, man. The guy does a lot of stuff. He's a great athlete, number one, coming out of college into CrossFit, has excelled in basically all areas of athletic endeavors that he's pursued. He's also the co-owner, I believe, of Fitness Culture. He is one of the founders of Gymbuildr, which is a lead generation system for gyms. And now he's developing, in the middle of knee-deep developing FitHive, which is a one-stop solution for CRMs, marketing, and a bunch of other automations for gym owners. And it was a cool conversation. I mean, just having a unique background and the world he comes from and having done so many things within the industry. It was a lot of fun. So I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. Jacob's super nice guy and really easy to talk to. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So this episode is sponsored by EliteGymInsiders.com. So it is a Slack community that I help manage and develop, and it's awesome. So what do you get? Well, if you are a gym owner or a fitness professional in general, and you want to get actual networking and community, not just like a Facebook group that gets you sucked into the vortex of cat videos and whatnot, then you want to check it out. Slack is a little bit different. A lot of the BS is removed. It's just all about communication and networking and sharing. And you can go to EliteGymInsiders.com, fill out the application. And then if it goes well, then you're in. We have about 400 people in that group now, and we are starting to offer special deals and discounts for people just in the group. You don't have to pay for anything. You just join the group and you get these deals. So why not? And plus you get to be connected with some of the best minds in the industry. Not a bad deal, right? So go to EliteGymInsiders.com, check it out. And without further ado, this is episode number 140 with Jacob Hutton of FitHive. Enjoy the show. All right. And we're live. Jacob Hutton, welcome, man.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. And, people who may be watching the YouTube version of this, you'll probably see, wow, like if Jacob and I are walking down the street together, people probably think we're twins, just due to our size and our build. We're not related at all. So.
We get confused with brothers all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Jacob, man, such a good guy. Really enjoy our conversation. I'm really excited to highlight you because you, man, I mean, talk about like someone who is, really in it for the right reasons, but you tested a lot of waters in entrepreneurship in this industry. You've done a lot of things. And I think, it's inspiration. People are going to learn a lot probably from your trials and tribulations and wins, right?
Yeah,
so let's start off. Just kind of give us your background. Give us a little bit of your story.
All right. So try to make it as quick as possible because it's kind of a weird one, like you were saying. So started out, I was a college athlete. Once I was done, became a college strength and conditioning coach. And
what did you play?
I played football. I played linebacker at Utah State University.
Right on. So
after I was done there, I was the assistant strength coach at Southern Utah University, which is right up the road from me in Cedar City. And while I was there, I was kind of getting into powerlifting, bodybuilding, didn't know what to do because CrossFit never crossed my mind. I was like a CrossFit hater at the time, one of those guys. Anyway, then the head strength coach's wife was on the Ute team that had won the games the first time they won, right? So on the back-to-back win teams, anyway, a long time ago. I don't know if you remember, but so yeah. Ute won, and anyway.
What team were you on? Tommy Hackenbrook?
She was, yes. And then I was. They won twice, year off. Then I came back on their team where we took third.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the first year, I kind of got exposed through them. And then another guy on their team named Mike Cashew, who owns Brute Strength and is with WAG now. Do you know Mike at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. So Mike came down as a graduate assistant strength coach. And me and him became like best friends. And one time he was basically just like, hey, if I'm telling you, if you just do the open, you're gonna qualify for regionals and you're gonna do pretty good, you know. And so he convinced me to do it. It was a lot of fun. Did the open, went to regionals, did all right, placed like top 7 at regionals, and then I just started doing CrossFit. And so it kind of turned my path from being a college strength coach into I really enjoyed CrossFit, and it turned my path from, this is what I always tell people in college strength and conditioning, because it's really fun to work with athletes, don't get me wrong, but you're working with kids that in the weight room, they have to be there. They love the sport, but they have to come train, right? And so you have the 30% that don't want to be there every day, the 30% that just love the weight room, and every day is just swinging that middle 40 to try to get them to loving it, you know what I mean, to bring the rest of the group up. And so it's like there's a lot of cheerleading involved and things like that. And then I started helping out at a CrossFit gym and just helping out just regular clients, you know. And I've always been really into movement and helping people move right and being structurally balanced. And I was actually able to use those principles and help people that were maybe like sitting in an office all the time just feel better when they work out, I really enjoyed that. And so once I saw that and I was able to do that, and I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. I kind of want to get into the CrossFit space. And so that kind of started my journey into CrossFit. I started competing. I ended up opening a gym in North Salt Lake at one point. And then we started running 6-week challenges, and then we started doing it for other gyms with me and a few guys. We started Gymbuildr, which is a 6-week challenge marketing company still. So we run 6-week challenges for people and do some other marketing stuff as well. And then that has now turned into FitHive, which is a gym management platform where we're kind of trying to blend all the stuff that I've been doing in the past into one platform. But along the way, like I was a part of helping Mike start Brute Strength. And then during that, I met Steve Cook and we started doing a program with him. And now I have an app with Steve where we do fitness programs for a bunch of people just all over, you know. A lot of it's primarily his following, but we're trying to build a brand just around fitness culture, which is mine and Steve's brand together, which is the fitness app and then our gym down here at St. George.
Got it.
No, I don't know. That was kind of a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot in there. Let's unpack some of that. So, first of all, what like how big are you? How tall are you? How much do you weigh?
Right now I'm like 6 foot 235.
And when you were competing at like a regional level in CrossFit,
so yeah, it's a pretty funny story. So my first CrossFit games ever, I was pretty arrogant, you know, like because I was able just to like hop in and do things, you know, like, oh, this is easy. So some of the events, I was 245 at the time.
Wow. For people who don't know CrossFit, that's humongous.
Yeah, I was big for CrossFit. So I went in there and I practiced some muscle ups, but I wasn't very good at it, you know. And like I would jump up, false grip, and then just like stripped over. And anyway, there were a couple events where I was like, oh, this isn't going to be that bad. And I took like almost dead last in the muscle up event. And then there was a rope time event where I literally practiced climbing a rope maybe like twice. And I was like, oh, this is pretty easy. And that event was like, oh, it's not so easy. Like I literally from the top, my feet slipped out on one rep and I just rope burned the side of my face and just fell to the ground.
Brutal. Yeah. So you're a big boy for CrossFit. I mean, you look at like, you know, the top CrossFitters out there, they're what, like maybe 5'6", $180 is kind of like the average, you know, for podium.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The average gym is probably somewhere around 5'8", but I mean, Matt Fraser's probably right there, right? Exactly.
Yeah. It's like 5'6", 175.
Yeah,
you know, I'm curious too. So, you know, you start working with, you know, at some point you start working with more general population, not athletes, right? With your training. How do people relate to you? So in your size and stature, like, you know, you look the part, you look like an athlete, right? Do you find people find you unrelatable in that way, or do you find it easier to relate to people, or how do you do that?
For me, and this is what I always tell our coaches, like, you got to have like one of a few different things. You have to be a really great personality if you want people to stay and like you, or you have to know your stuff and be able to help them every day when they come in. So I don't know if people necessarily relate to me, but I try to know as much as possible, and I always try to fix something on them every time they come in. And so that's kind of how I found success when I was coaching people. Is I would like I was saying, I loved helping people with movement. So that's the first thing that I would do. I would try to overcoach them, correct their movement, and always have something to fix. And if it worked, then obviously I don't know about if I was relatable, but we became friends and it helped them. And so they wanted to come back. So that's kind of how I overcome the being non-relatable. I definitely have resting bitch face constantly, and people always tell me that. If I'm not smiling, I just look like a rude person. I'm kind of intimidating. So
Yeah.
I have to try to get out of my comfort zone, smile a lot, and try to help them like fix their movement. So that's basically, that was always what I was trying to do.
Are you a pretty introverted guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just naturally I am. I force myself to be extroverted when I get in those situations. But like I catch myself, I'm thinking about stuff so much that I don't think I'm rude, but I do things that I'll walk by somebody and just be thinking and maybe not, I'll be like, hey, but I won't be engaging. And so I have to force myself to be extroverted.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
not naturally that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, man. Well, no wonder you think a lot because you got like 4 different businesses. So
yeah. Probably stressed out a lot, thinking about.
So let's break down some of your business, man. Let's, Gymbuildr and the 6-week challenge. When did you guys start that?
That's like about 3 years ago now. I mean, really how that did start was the first challenge that I ever ran at my gym in North Salt Lake. I ran with New You and it did really well. And I had some partners at the time that were successful business guys when they're like, hey, I mean, they were when they saw us like paying out, they're like, you need to figure out how to do this on your own because we're not going to let you just pay someone else to do this, and like we know how to run Facebook ads. And so I had a buddy that was a marketing guy and we just kind of started putting it together, and that's kind of how it started. So we ran a challenge at my gym. One of my buddies from my hometown, I got to talking with him and he wanted to run one. So we helped him out running one. And then from there, kind of just like he told someone else, they told someone else. And then we kind of just started helping people out. So that's how that started. And it was about 2019. Yeah, 2016. Because that year it was called Rockwell CrossFit. So I was partners with with a company called Rockwell Watches. And we took a team to the games. I don't know. No one knows that, but we didn't do that great.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? The 6-week challenge format and the lead generation that is produced has been undeniable,
Yeah, for sure.
How do you see that? Let me ask you, here's an interesting question because when you look at like the overall strategy of a gym, right? To build membership, retain membership, like how do you think a 6-week challenge should be properly utilized? Because I know a lot of people will lean just on that.
Okay, so I mean, this is exactly why we created FitHive.
Okay,
and so we were working with all these clients, especially in the beginning, getting some people 500 leads in 2 weeks, and they get there. Yeah, it was insane.
How well it works.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, it still works that way with some gyms, but I mean, now it's closer to probably even like 300 leads for people, right? We're signing up 20 to 50 people, and then that's all they focus on. Even though we give them the leads, they're not doing anything with it. And so like right off the bat, we noticed that people weren't doing anything on that end. And we wanted to develop a system where we could run the challenge directly into their gym management system and then automate follow-ups or like a check-in system with all the extra leads that are coming into their system. And that's really how you're going to have to use a 6-week challenge to actually turn it into something that's going to work for a long period of time. Obviously, those 50 people that you got to sign up, you're going to do everything you can to get them to stay on long term. But following up with the leads and getting them in the gym, I mean, that's how we use it to be successful right now. So like even with my gym that I have right now, we're testing a free just 2-week challenge because we have a different gym membership model since we have the Fitness Culture app. And I mean, actually FitHive makes it so that every gym can have essentially the Fitness Culture app for their gym. And so we use our app to run the gym right now. So like everyone in our gym, we're less expensive than a group training facility, but we're more expensive than your Vasa or I guess Gold's Gym. Everyone can relate to Gold's Gym. Your Gold's Gym down the street. And so for us, most people are on a program because it is more expensive. And we're running 2-week challenges for people that are, hey, you're a beginner, it's going to be completely free. And then we get them to sign up after, and we have a coach on the floor that can help them with their program, And so we're still using the challenge model to push the leads in the door, and then we follow up with all the leads that come through. And that's how we're like maintaining our turnover rate, despite getting more people in the door using challenges. It's working really well so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So, and that's a big part of it. When I was running challenges, it was like 2014, 2015 with New You. And, I would get X amount of signups, which is great. I mean, the first time I think I got like 40 signups for a challenge, which is awesome. I mean, nothing was that effective before. But I was ecstatic to get, let's say we close 40. I don't know. These numbers, I'm making these up now. I can't remember exactly. But we got like the first time I did, I got like 240 leads, right? In a matter of a week. I was like, okay, you got to shut this thing off. This is crazy, right? And to me, I just filled up my email list. And that was the most important thing to me. It was like, okay, now I have an email list. I know how to nurture. And it turned into kind of a golden goose, right? Because, if I ever run an external program, I would hit up that list. I had it somewhat segmented. And, all this stuff sounds like, to most people, like, oh, it sounds like a lot of work. It's really not. Like, it's not that complicated to set up a segmented email list. It'll take you like an hour tops, right? And then maybe, just nurturing it properly over time is a big factor. But I think people look at, the challenge format as like that's it, right? Well, if we get 300 leads and we sign up, 50, I don't know what kind of close rate you see. That's it. That's all I need to do. But no, you're missing out on the gold, which is all the other people who didn't sign up immediately. Right? And I know, so dive into that like a little bit about how FitHive solves that problem. Like, how do you guys help the nurturing? How do you guys help effectively, make the most of leads that you can from, not actually being inside the gym, right?
Yeah. So, the way that we have FitHive set up is that you can run the entire campaign within your Hive. So there's landing page builder in there. There's form builders, appointment scheduling, automated text from your appointments, and then also drip campaigns, right? And so there's a tagging system, so you can tag people when they come in, just like your standard things that you would need for any software to run a marketing campaign, right? It's all on just one system. And so when the leads come in, they're going to come into your system in FitHive. You can tag them. And then it's basically just a follow-up system obviously you're going to have the people that book and show up. If they don't show, there's a no-show system. It's the automated text to get them back in. But let's just say we're talking about all the people that don't actually schedule or come in, right? All those, like say extra 250 leads that didn't schedule an appointment and aren't responding. So basically, with FitHive, we just throw them in a drip campaign, right? Kind of like what you're saying, segment the email list through tags, tag them as whatever type of lead they are, and then put them through a drip flow. And we also do a lot of automated text things where there's also a two-way text system in there. So we can personally reach out to the people and have more of a personal touch instead of just always hitting them with an automation. And then right now we're building a follow-up system, which we don't have done yet, just to alert gym owners, because that's kind of like the problem we're seeing now is it needs to be easier. It always needs to be easier, right, for people to do stuff. And so it's kind of an alert system, like, hey, this person hasn't been followed up with in the last week, like follow back up. You know what I mean? And so just within the system, you can go over, text them, follow up, check it, and then move forward. And so it's really just automating your follow-ups just within one system. The problem that we were having before was people just didn't really have a good way to do that automatically. And we'd send them the leads in a spreadsheet and they didn't know what to do with them. And so just by having all the leads in the system, being able to throw them in a drip campaign or a text campaign, and then also being able to personally follow up with them and text them within the system, we're hoping it's going to make it a lot easier. We don't have a ton of gyms on right now, but our goal is to build a system that just makes it a lot easier. And it's exactly what you said that we kind of realized when we started working with gyms, because it's not that hard to set up a marketing campaign like this, right? It really isn't. It's just the initial work is hard. There's a lot of hours. You have to figure out software. You have to figure out multiple softwares. You have to figure out landing page builder. You have to connect it to a form that connects to a different scheduler that sends a text that you'll have to send an email, and all these things have to connect, right? And so figuring out how to do all that is just a nightmare. But once you do, it's like super easy to run these campaigns and get them going. And so our goal was to basically kind of create a ClickFunnels type thing inside of your gym management software where people wouldn't have to figure it out at all. It's already figured out. It's basically one of these things where you just need to know how to connect a Facebook ad to your landing pages and potentially retarget based off landing page views or video views to get people back through the funnel. And so, yeah, that was like, we just know, yeah, the pain point was, I guess what I wanted to get across to people is like, it's not that hard to do this. It's just like, you just have to sit down and deal with the pain to figure it out. But once you figure it out, you're going to say, oh, wow, I can do this. Like, I can definitely do this on my own. And it's going to give you something that you can use in your gym forever to constantly generate leads. Not even from a 6-week challenge, just marketing in general, knowing how to create a campaign to bring people in. You know? And we know people aren't always going to want to do that because the Facebook ad side is a little bit more technical as far as depending on how deep you want to get into retargeting out video views or landing page views or different pages and what content you're going to hit them with. So our goal is to create an academy to show people everything that we've tested in our gym, and so they can try to create it themselves. And then if not, hopefully they'll hit us up through Gymbuildr to help run their campaigns, you know?
So that academy is within FitHive. Is that right? Yeah.
So that's one thing that's not built yet either, but it's finally built. And so now we're going to try to start putting in the educational pieces into FitHive just to teach people how to basically how to run Facebook ads. Because I know that a lot of people will probably some people will probably want us to run them, but I want to be able to, if people don't want that, just to teach them how to do it on their own, you know?
Yeah. I think the challenge with a lot of gym owners, especially the owner operators, is that they want all this stuff, but they want it done for you, but they can't afford the done for you solution, right?
Yeah.
Which is, an issue. And that's, I think that's a pretty fair statement, but there is a lot, right? Like you got to understand Facebook ads and how that whole thing works, how to create the ads, the imagery and the videos. You have to have, something like lead pages for the actual, sales pages. And then you got to have an Acuity software, to do the scheduling. And then you got to have a type form type thing for, and people are probably listening to me like, F that.
Exactly. Instantly we just noticed like, it's almost, this is what I used to tell people. It's like, when someone, like if my accountant was trying to explain to me how he's doing his job, I just want to be like, no, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Like when we've tried to explain to people, they'd be like, no, I don't care. Just do it. Like, I don't want to hear about it. It's like, well, I mean, you could probably do this yourself. Like, nope, just do it. Like, you just do it. I'll pay you, you do it. And so that's kind of how it is. And so we're trying to make it so it's even that much easier. So hopefully people want to kind of do it themselves a little bit,
Yeah. And it sounds complicated, but it's not. It's not. It's kind of once you get all the pieces in play, and I built out my own after doing I built out my own campaigns too, but it was for like, more personal training, high ticket items.
Yeah.
And it worked well. What kind of offers do you guys in like Gymbuildr? What kind of offer do you guys send out there, or is that a secret sauce?
What do you mean?
When like you're sending out ads, right? Like,
the biggest thing, the thing that works the best, honestly, is just creating scarcity by saying, "Hey, we're in a challenge. We only need this many people," and it's basically just one of those things. Scarcity. They have to apply to get into the challenge, and that always helps people get into. But we don't do free offers. If that's what you're wondering. Like we don't like the free model because, in my mind, it just makes the gym owner look bad. Yeah. Like there's so many complaints, and they get bad Google reviews. When you tell, if I say what the free model is, like there's some people that will run a challenge and say, oh, free 6-week challenge, and let people go all the way through thinking it's free, show up for an appointment. And then all of a sudden you tell them, it's only free if you lose 4% of your body fat in the next 6 weeks or something crazy like that. And so we've never done that, and we're not going to, and we're more upfront, but it's just one of those things where it's kind of, we create inclusivity, like anyone can do it. And also like scarcity, we're only going to be opening up to this many people. And that for us has worked since we started. We refresh, obviously we're refreshing what we're doing, the copy, the ads that we're using. But other than that, like the model hasn't really changed a lot for the 6-week challenges that we're doing.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't need to. The only thing is it just can't be overused. Like you can't use it all like.
Oh yeah. That's the thing too.
Weeks in a market, right? Because it'll drive people crazy and then you'll end up,
Here in St. George, there's like a guy down the street that I think he started working with Gym Launch. So like he kind of learned how to run his own campaigns. And he would run them like every right when you would get done with interviews, he'd launch again. I swear he ran like 10 challenges within like a few months of opening. And I was like, dude, you gotta stop doing this. Like, no one's ever gonna sign up for a challenge again.
Yeah. It's scorched earth. Like, you just can't do it. Right. There's, like, you can't do it that way. And, it's interesting. I mean, and people, talk about Gym Launch and what they're doing, and seem to refrain from using the name, but I don't care. I don't like what they're doing. Right. I don't think it's good for the industry. I don't think it's good for gym owners. I think it's predatory. And, if the Gym Launch people want to come and talk to me about it, let's do it. We'll do it right here. But I just don't
like bait and switch.
It's a bait and switch.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is. I had some coaches who started that, and that's been around. Here's the thing: none of it is an original idea. None of it. This whole thing started. That whole concept started years and years ago, decades almost. And he's just taking ideas that pre-existed. Just like very few original ideas in fitness in general.
Yeah, that's true.
Repackaged it, used it, and the best part about it is now he's telling everyone that you have to switch to a hybrid model because the group class model is dead. No, it is not. Like,
it's not at all.
Not at all. It's better than ever, right? I mean,
look at F45.
Yeah, look at F45. Orange Theory, Barry's Boot Camp. Should I keep going? Like, there's all of them. Like, people love group classes, and I don't think that's changing anytime soon. It's really just I think it's just starting to get, maybe it's getting close to a peak, but it's far from truth that that's dead. So if people are listening and they're like, oh yeah, maybe he's right. Maybe the group class model is dead. No, it's not. You just need to tweak something in your gym.
I know from personal experience that it's definitely not, because the gym that I have right now isn't a group class model. It's only come do your own thing and we'll give you a program. And I'm trying to create a group class model soon, because there's just people that, like, if I run a challenge and we train as a group, like, they're not going to train unless they come back for the group. And so I'm missing out on these people that, because we try to, like, my idea was to get them on the app and get them doing their own program. And then during some parts of the day, we have coaches on the floor that can help them out, So we bring these new group of people in and say, hey, between 5:30 and 7 and from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., you can come in and get help until you're more comfortable just like working out on your own, But we still just have to fall off. And the feedback is, I like working out in a group. People that don't come in or they quit, they're just like, I just like it better when we were working out in a group, and I want to stay in a group,
Yeah.
So, it's definitely never going to die. There's people, I like working out in a group too sometimes. If I'm going to do conditioning, like, I'm not trying to do that by myself.
Yeah.
So, and like 90% of the successful group model is the conditioning aspect. Like CrossFit, you're going to go in there and lift, but people want to breathe hard. F45 is all, you just go in there and you're doing a circuit and breathing hard. And so just group conditioning is never going to end, just because it's way more fun.
Yeah. And it's social, right? And it's something that, I get to work with F45 in different aspects, and, looking at their gyms and the classes, like, it's a party. It's fun, right? And I think that's one thing that they've done well. Maybe it's that Australian influence.
It probably could be.
Yeah, it's just good fun. And I think as fitness professionals too, I speak this as completely as me being super guilty of it. I always wanted the purity of the fitness, right? I saw the beauty in the training and the programming and all of that. And it turns out most people don't give a shit. Right?
No. Yeah. Oh yeah.
They just want to feel. They want to have a great hour, right? It's just a checkbox thing. Like, okay, I got to check that off for my day. Did I work out? Check. Good. Move on, right? But we always want to make it bigger. And there's a certain percentage of the population that will love, beautiful program design and all that, and you can find those clients. They're not as prevalent, but for the most part, people just want to move. They want to find a place that they actually enjoy the exercise, so it doesn't seem like a chore.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where the class comes in. It's undeniable, right?
100%. Yeah, you're 100% right. Because obviously my background is strength and conditioning, so I started as a CrossFit hater, then fell in love with it, and started as you have to have a perfect program, and realized, no, there is no perfect program, number one, and people aren't trying to be the strongest guy in the world. They're coming in here just to like be able to move and be healthy and feel good. And so I've completely changed my mind, and I agree with you 100%. Yeah. That's really how it is.
And don't hurt them, right?
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Don't hurt them. And that you can still get people to do a huge variety of different movements without doing something that's going to potentially hurt them.
Yeah.
I guess on that one, it's like, I've seen that a lot in CrossFit.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying CrossFit's not safe. I mean, you probably, this thing's beaten to the ground, right? That's just, there's certain movements you shouldn't do with certain people. And so that's one reason that I think F45 has done so well too, because they kind of exclude those movements, but they have so much variety that no one ever gets bored and anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not technical, and that's the challenge that CrossFit has had from a marketing standpoint is, it's challenging to have a low barrier offer in CrossFit unless it's like a challenge format. It's the only thing that seems to work because, we used to back in the day, right? 08, 09, when we opened gym, we would just, people join, okay, throw them in class.
Yeah.
They'll learn.
Yeah.
And turns out that wasn't the best way to do it. And
yes. It is hard, man.
It is. It's difficult too because, you work in, you look at Olympic lifting, weightlifting alone, right? Olympic style weightlifting. That's a lifetime of mastery.
It really is. Yeah.
Right? Gymnastics. Are you kidding me? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, and that's just two components of it. And then you get in all the other stuff that comes into CrossFit. It's really hard to just, and I talked about this in an episode with Luke Armstrong from F45 last year. And, the beauty of an F45 model is that, people can come in and they can essentially just with an introduction session, they can jump right in and then they'll get a good workout. They don't need to be coached a ton right, during a class. So it's scalable. And that's, you look at what franchises are scaling nowadays, it's usually the simplicity of a model, right? And then some sort of tech. Right?
Yeah.
And those two things, and then just systems that are sound, right? Concrete systems. And that's what allows people to scale their locations like that. So it's, speaking of gyms, man, tell me about, fitness culture. Cause you do, we're just shitting on hybrid. But you guys, that's what you do, right? Or that's kind of what you do, right? Tell me about the model that you guys have at your gym. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's not, I don't know. It's not really hybrid. You don't do any
Okay. I misspoke.
I guess it kind of is for like the 2-week challenge people, but I'm trying to make it hybrid. So yeah, you're right. Anyway, we've only been open for a little over a year now, but we kind of like my idea for the gym when we opened it was we already had an app that we were using and we needed a physical location really that we didn't open this as we want to start a new gym model. We opened it as I can't work out anywhere with Steve without him just talking to people for 3 hours because everyone knows who he is when we go into a gym. So we needed a place where we could actually film content and get stuff done for our app. And so we opened the gym here and the model that we run is, we're kind of in the middle from a price perspective. We're not as cheap as Bossa or Gold's Gym. We're not as expensive as CrossFit. We're like right in the middle and people pay to basically have a gym that's not busy. If you want to do your own thing, you can come do your own thing. But then also for a very, very small price, you can use our app to get a program. Not everyone in the gym is forced to get a program. And the reason that I didn't work in the price of the app into the gym membership is because I didn't want people that weren't using the app to think like, oh, I'm not going to work out here anymore because I'm paying for that, And so basically people can just come do their own thing or come work out with our app. And then we have coaches on the floor during certain periods of the day for people that are new, don't know how to use the app and they want help with their program, just want help with their form. So, yeah.
That's interesting. So what is the price point? What's the price point of your gym?
We're $60 right now, which probably sounds cheap to you, but in this area, it's like a really hard sell. So we had to find out, because St. George is a little bit smaller and you have all the bigger box gyms here are just $10 a month. And so we kind of picked the middle road and it's been working out pretty well so far. I think if we were in a different area, we would definitely go closer to 100 and be fine. But people, I don't know if I want to say this about St. George. People are watching this from St. George, but people don't spend as much money on their gym membership here. I think one of the reasons is it's a super active community. There's so much stuff to do here, hike, bike. And so the last thing that people are going to spend a ton of money on is coming to the gym because the gym is just to help them go ride their bike or, you know what I mean? Things like that. And so they don't mind just cruising up to Boston. So we had to price it at a point where people weren't just overwhelmed.
So how does the app work? Is it individualized? Is there assessment that people go through up front? Like how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, so the app is we do it more goal-based. So we have a bunch of different programs. I'm actually working to get a lot more for our gym in the app, just for our gym-based programs. The ones that we have online are kind of catered to the following that Steve has and the fitness culture now has, which is it's more bodybuilding type followers, and we're trying to introduce them to more like structured strength progressions and structured balance programs. But basically there's like a functional program, which is more has CrossFit style. We don't call it CrossFit. That's why we call it functional. Not because of CrossFit, because people that don't like CrossFit don't want to say they're doing CrossFit, but like, you know what I mean?
A trademark, right?
But yeah, it's more just stuff that you would see at like F45, you know? So finishing with those kind of metcons and things, but still with the strength progression. But anyway, we have functional, we have lean, swole, power, which is more powerlifting based. So we just basically have programs for goals and then abilities, and people come back. Like we don't really put them through an assessment. We kind of, which I should probably do a better job with that, but it's more just, I haven't had enough time to put it in place, I guess. So I'm trying to find, our assessment is kind of, I guess there kind of is an assessment when people come in for, if we do like a free 2-week challenge and they're using the app, it's kind of like up to our coaches to be like, to guide them into the right program based on how they perform. And we try to, in those, get all beginners, because honestly, like our other programs, besides our couple beginner programs, just aren't really beginner friendly.
Yeah.
They're more just for our following online. And so we try to get beginners, but if there's more advanced people, we'll tell them like, hey, I don't think you're going to like the build program, so let's move you into power if you're more interested in getting strong, you know? And so that's kind of where we assess them, is during that 2 weeks, and then moving forward that way.
Interesting. Is there a lot of people who use your app outside of the gym?
Oh yeah. Well, it's way more outside of the gym. Like the online business is definitely a lot bigger than the gym business. The gym business is kind of, I haven't put enough time into it yet, but I'm trying to get it working this way to see if it'll work as a just app-based gym model.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Does anybody else do it that way? Does anyone else do an app-based gym model?
I don't know. I haven't heard of anyone that does it now. I mean, I know there's probably a lot of people that use True Coach and things like that in their gym. I just don't know if there's anyone that's all they kind of do in their gym. But that's all we're doing right now. That's why for FitHive, we did design it so that people could run this model. So if I get it to work, everyone that has the app, it has like basically essentially a very similar app within the software that they can use for their gym. And so those are kind of the other pieces of educational pieces that we're going to be putting out on, like, if this is successful, the stuff that we've done to make it successful, and kind of give them systems on how, if they want to run their gym this way a little bit, they can use what we've done here in their gym. So
yeah. What's timeline on FitHive? Can people access it now? Is it available in a beta? What do you guys?
We have gyms on FitHive right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they can, like, it's our website's just myfithive.com, and yeah, we have about 60 gyms right now. But we're growing steadily. But it's just one of those things where when we took on the project, we had a bunch of beta gyms, and then we kind of realized there's all these things that all these people want. And then from there, kind of had to play catch up to get back to where we are now. And now we're kind of back to building the things that we wanted to build in the beginning to try to make it easier for gym owners to get clients, to follow up with them, things like that. So we're trying to make it more, I mean, the idea from the beginning was to give people a cool app because we had already kind of used the developers that I had to develop this app. So put something like this into a gym software, but then also blend that with Gymbuildr and be able to basically be a marketing software that also runs your gym. And that's our goal. And it's definitely been a challenge. We have some great developers that are crushing it, but it's just a lot of features. And so it's been a bit of a challenge, but it's getting better. It's getting better every month. New rollouts, new features every month. And so we're almost right where we want to be right now. And so I think I'm excited about the future. So it should be good.
Yeah, it should be. And that's the challenge with gym softwares. I mean, there used to be just a couple, right?
Yeah.
Like MindBody, Zen Planner, and like a couple other ones, right? I think Front Desk was around back then, maybe. But now, there's a lot of that. And, I would imagine for you, it's probably a challenge too. Like, do you go very, very specific on what you do, right? Or
yeah, yeah. No, the thing is, it is all in one now. And that's the challenge, because we were selling it as an all-in-one, and then there's just over the last year, there were so many features that other people had that we didn't know were a big deal to people that we had to play catch up on.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different softwares. And so we get someone to come over and be like, oh, well, I really need this.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, we're going to do our best to make that happen for you. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so it kind of put us off track for the reason that like we want to be really good at this, put us off track from that, the marketing aspect. But now that we've kind of played catch up, we're back on track for that. So
right on. So what is, just give an idea for the listeners too, if they go to myfithive.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the costs for a gym owner? How are you guys pricing it now? What does that look like?
So the way that we are doing it right now, since it's all in one, is just $250 a month, and that's to get everything. And so we've been playing around with trying to split it up like everyone. I mean, everyone splits it up, and like you get these features for this much, this for this much. The reason that we went just one price was that we really wanted to push the marketing side. And if you're using those marketing features, you need everything else that we built, you know? And so that's kind of why we just put it at one price. And we've been going that way so far. But yeah, for right now, if you go right now and you want to sign up and get a demo, it's $250 a month. And that could change in the next 6 months though.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's great pricing. I think it's right there. Yeah, I think it's accurate.
We have stuff like two-way text inside of the software, just things that I guess our goal was to get rid of all these different softwares, like the MailChimp, Entreport, if you're using Entreport, Infusionsoft, and then Scipio, like all these different softwares that people are paying for to run their campaigns, and just put them all in one. And so, I mean, if you count the cost of all those things, it's not even like way more than $250 a month, but yeah. That's kind of why we priced the way we did. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I think it's too expensive. Like, no, I just think, that's why we only have one price is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes total sense, man. And keep it simple, right? People can budget it in. You're right. When you start adding in all those softwares that people use, I'm often surprised when I look at my credit card bill. I'm like, what? Oh, man, like, am I using all these? Yeah, kind of, but not enough to like justify the price all the time. But yet, you know, I don't know. It's wild. I can pick up software subscriptions in my sleep somehow, apparently.
No, I need to. So I like to check them out and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I think my wife checks that stuff. Awesome, man. Well, Jacob, people want to find out, obviously myfithive.com. What are some of the other places online that they can go and learn more about you and what you do? Just about me, not about FitHive. All of it.
Yeah, so Gymbuildr.com is the 6-week challenge company that we have. And then just me personally, just fitnessculture.com. And then my Instagram is just Jacob Hutton 1, which I post like once every 3 months right now. Yeah.
Well, I saw it too. You have a tremendous amount of followers, dude.
Well, the thing is, my business partner is Steve Cook. So if I look at my followers next to his, it's nothing.
Yeah. So, how many do you have?
His is like 2.3 million. I have like 70,000. Yeah, I have like 70,000. So, jeez. So yeah, I feel like I don't have any followers. It's probably why I never post. But
dude, I have like 1,000. I think. I don't know. I haven't checked. So all those numbers sound crazy. 2.3 million. That's like another job, right? You got to maintain your Instagram account like that.
Oh no, that like is his job. He's got over 1 million on YouTube too. So he kind of does like he is an influencer.
Absolutely.
Instagram. He's putting out 3 videos a week on YouTube that are just vlogs of his life, and so it's a full-time job for him just to maintain his social media. Yeah, fascinating. Right on, man. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for spending your Friday with me. It's been awesome. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Yeah. We'll talk soon. All right. See you. Hey, fitness fans, don't leave yet. It's your host, Eric Malzone, and I have a quick favor to ask. Actually, 3 favors. So, number 1, if you're a fan of our show, I ask you to do something that takes under 3 minutes. Go to iTunes, please, and subscribe to our show. Please, please, please. It means so much to us. It's so important. And then give us a favorable review. We would really, really appreciate it. And I can't tell you how much it means and helps us out. So I know it takes 2 minutes of your day, and it means a lot to us. So please do that. Number 2, go to our YouTube channel, our Fitness Marketing Alliance, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel there. Number 3, if you like this episode or any of the episodes that we've released, share it on social. That's huge. That's a big deal for us. And we put a lot of work into these episodes, trying to give you great, actionable content
for the fitness industry. So that would mean a lot. And that's it. So we have some big plans coming up for this show. I'll be talking about that in the next couple episodes. But thank you so much for listening. It means so much. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love to hear from everybody. Eric, ERIC, at fitnessmarketingalliance.com.